Welcome. Good morning. You are the first interview I have today, and I appreciate the punctuality. Did you have any difficulty finding the place? I didn't think so. Did you want any water or coffee before we get started? All right then. Before we proceed, do you have any concerns with this interview being recorded for posterity and future hiring decisions? You do need to sign here to verify your consent to being recorded. Purely for internal and business purposes only. Nothing in this interview can be used externally for promotional purposes without your permission, and would require another signature for that to occur. You already have your pen. That's a very fancy pen. No, it's fine. It has our company logo on it. It's not the one at the front desk. That's a it's a very nice pen. In fact, you're if you don't mind me saying, you're dressed extremely well. Very fashionable. In fact, I'm aware that suit that you're wearing probably costs like 100 times as much as the suit I'm wearing. The fact that you're applying for this job looking like you do is amazing. I'm just saying you have excellent taste. Excellent taste. So you do need to verbally consent to being recorded for this interview. Yes, I do need you to verbally say that. Yes, thank you. Now we have an consent. I'm sorry, you seem really familiar. Have we met before? I mean, I've got resume right here, but and I definitely don't recognize any of the details from this resume, but your face seems really familiar. I feel like I've met you before or seen your picture somewhere. Are you a celebrity of some kind? You just seem oddly familiar. Anyway, back to the interview process. It normally consists of 2 to 3 interviews here, and the interview process today should not take more than 30 minutes. Do you have any concerns with that time frame? All right, no problem. I will be typing extensive notes throughout this interview. Do not be alarmed if I'm taking notes here, as well as we're filming our interviews. We've just been doing that because of our interview process. I'm sorry, it's bothering me. Have you worked here in the past? I know it's not on your resume, but I feel like I've met you before. You seem really familiar. It's gonna bother me. It's gonna bother me. Okay. Sorry, you just seem familiar. And are you at all related to our CCO? The CCO, the Chief Commercial Officer. No. Okay. Maybe the CEO? Chief Executive Officer. No. Do you have any relatives that currently work here at all? No. Okay. You seem really familiar. Anyway, yeah. Let me start off with sorry, I've gone completely off topic and distracted. Let me just rewind back to a little bit of information about our background history about the company. Here at the World Wide Wicket company. This is for. I'm sure I mentioned this is for the mid-level assistant associate production agent manager position. Here at the World Wide Wicket company. Here at the World Wide Wicket company, we pride ourselves as being the industry-leading brand of wickets, from manufacturing, distribution, promotion, operations management, and even including research and development. I feel like you've heard this all before. Are you sure you haven't worked here before in the past? Have you talked to our CPO, our chief production officer? What about our CPRO. I feel like you may have been in a meeting with our like the C-suite right there with our CPRO. That's our Chief Public Relations Officer. What about the other CPRO? Our Chief Production Resources Officer. No. I feel like I have met you. I know I have. Though your name here on the resume is kind of your resume actually looks it's brilliant. It's beautiful. If I could just like photocopy this as a template for other people's resume, the outline, it's fluid. It almost looks like it kind of looks like my resume actually. Not to brag, of course, but I mean it looks very similar to like the template, the font, everything. Your name is kind of peculiar. It just says Gen Z name. Am I mispronouncing that? Sort of like just insert Gen Z name here. Oh, okay. So it's so your name is Jen, but it's short for Genevieve. So your full and it's pronounced Name. My apologies. So it's Genevieve Zelda Name. Okay. Yeah, no, that checks out. And you're sure you haven't ever worked here before? I don't I forget names all the time, but I'm not prone to forgetting a face, especially one as impressive. There we go. I think that's the tasteful word to use. You have a face that I wouldn't forget. And as far as confidence is important in any interview, but you really do have the dress for success nailed down. If someone is as the saying goes, don't dress for the job that you're applying for, dress for the job you want. And based on how you're dressed, I would say you're applying for the CSO position, C-suite of some kind, CEO, CEO, something like that. CEO. I feel like you had like a mug that said CEO. Are you sure you didn't work here? Okay. So, let me just get to some of the more behavioral based questions. That it's all it's they're not yes or no questions. They're behavioral or personality based because we really want to find the right person for the job, and we're very particular about the individuals that we're looking to hire here at the World Wide Wicket company. What interested you in this mid-level assistant associate production agent manager position? Well, it's an excellent job on essentially spitting back facts that I hadn't even mentioned. It seems like you've definitely done an impressive amount of research about the company. What about the company, especially since you've done so much research on it, really makes you want to work here? And what are you excited to do here that you are really passionate about? Would you consider yourself a risk taker? Why? If you had to risk money or time, which would you risk? Okay, looking at your resume, it doesn't really. All of it seems to be basic entry level jobs, and that's perfectly fine. We're not really looking at a skill based thing. A lot of the job experience that we're looking for here kind of has to be hands on here, because a lot of different various skills from different positions are very helpful here, but really it's everyone sort of starts at the same level because of the proprietary information that you kind of need to know on the job here, especially with Wicket production. And are you sure you don't know our CSO? No, that's our Chief Security Officer. What I meant was our CSO. No, that is the Chief Strategy Officer. What I meant was the CSO. No, not our Chief Sales Officer, the CSO. No, that would be the Chief Services Officer. No, I meant our CSO. Right. Yes, that's CSO. Yes, the Chief Services Officer. No, not the chief, not that services officer, the other services. Right. Okay, so you seem exactly like our Chief Strategy Officer. And I remember an email going out that our Chief Strategy Officer was going to be out of work, or sort of essentially using all their vacation days that they had. I know we have unlimited vacation days, but our chief C-suite don't use the unlimited vacation days. They have their own stockpile of vacation days. You'd have to talk to our CHRO officer about that, the Chief Human Resources Officer, because they have a whole different branch when you enter the C-suite on how vacation days work, which I'm sure you know because you seem exactly like our CSO's Chief Strategy Officer. Right. Yes, Karen Bland. No, I'm not saying that you look like a Karen. I'm saying that you look like that particular Karen. No, not a Bland Karen. I'm saying you look like Karen Bland, our strategy officer. No, I'm not insulting you. I'm saying that you seem like you are our chief strategy officer that emailed out saying you weren't going to be available for work for multiple months, and that when you return you would have a whole streamlined process of how the company should work from the bottom to the top from a more inside perspective. Are you trying to get hired to have a sort of more understanding of what the ground level of the work is, and that way you can make changes and improvements to the company from knowing how it actually works on the floor? Okay. And you wanted to do this from the very beginning of the interview process, which includes me. Did you get this approved with the CHRO? Yes, our Chief Human Resources Officer. Did you? Did they actually approve this? Because this is kind of weird, and it's kind of bizarre to be interviewing my boss for a position that we're trying to fill when I know this position isn't actually going to be filled. There's a lot of different ways you could get an inside perspective and get the honest opinions of employees. No, surveys don't work. Don't do a company survey. No, surveys never work. It's actually like been proven surveys are bad information, especially within companies. Where's the data on that? I'm sure I could find the data for that. But that's beside the point. What I'm curious about is why you're applying here. Well, your resume astounding. Your confidence excellent. Your answers to the questions, you've done your research, textbook answers. For this position, no, we actually probably wouldn't have hired you because you are overqualified. What we would have done is probably sent back to the management team, and they would review it, and we would actually try to get you in for a different interview for a management position because you are coming in with a lot of management energy. We're pretty sure that if you actually got this job, you would not like it and not stay. And we feel that there's a lot of skills and well, we know there's a lot of skills and energy because you are our chief strategy officer, not Gen Z name. I'm sorry, Genevieve Zelda Name. Right. Is there a reason why you're trying to trick me into hiring you? No, I don't have a tragic past or a poetic story to tell. No, I love this company. This company kind of is my life. I've been working here for multiple years, and no, my family's okay. I don't see them often because I'm working here most of the time. I'm on call. I am the main on-call human resources person. Anytime you need anything, emergency, whatever, I'm kind of here. But primarily, I deal with the hiring and recruiting, and I'm very happy to be in the hiring and recruiting and not in terminations primarily. So, yeah, hiring and recruiting is great. I get to meet all sorts of new people, or apparently, I get to meet people that I've known through from a distance, such as our chief strategy officer, not our chief security officer. He's a very wonderful guy, but you're definitely not him. I'm still confused about why you're interviewing for a lesser job when you already have a job here. I feel that this is kind of bizarre. Mind cluing me in on what's going on? You could have sent an email before this interview and have avoided this entire interview. I mean, yes, this is being recorded, but I'm also going to type notes. That I mentioned that already. That is currently part of our interviewing process. If you have comments, I believe I mentioned you could leave comments at the front desk. Am I getting fired? When a CEO or a CSO in this case immediately comes down, is pretending to be someone else, you get the feeling that they're trying to find something or something that's wrong. Are you saying that there's something wrong with our interviewing process, and this is your covert way of tricking? I understand that this is on camera, but I'm concerned. Am I getting fired? What? Okay, so maybe I'm missing something. So you wanted a real life undercover boss situation. You didn't want to put it on a network television show, of course, because that's the kind of a, yeah, I understand reality TV shows aren't reality. So what you wanted to do was make a real life undercover boss situation. Just go in at the ground level, see what it's like, and you thought it would be a good idea just do that from the beginning to end of a, so why not go through the interview process? So this wasn't an evaluation of the interview process necessarily, but it kind of was. Okay, and so far I've blown it. This is the worst interview I've probably have conducted, and it hasn't probably been a great reflection on the interview process. But on the other hand, what you're doing is absolutely bizarre. Undercover Boss, they usually don't go through the interview process, and they usually sort of have to go through a bunch of loops, especially with the HR department, to get into that. And I don't know if you've seen the American Undercover Boss show, but it's almost always bad, and almost nothing ever gets changed. And it's usually you got this cleared by our CPRO. Yes, our Chief Public Relations Officer, because normally when they televise it, it's all just for a PR stunt. And it's I'm not saying that it's a bad show. I'm just saying that it's a reality TV show. Reality TV isn't reality. That's anyone who thinks it is doesn't understand that it's for entertainment purposes. It's not real life. A real life thing is very different than something made for entertainment or even something for educational purposes. It's not real. It's like televising an interview. If the interview's for television, it's usually fast, it's witty, it's clever, it's rehearsed, it's scripted. It's not just a rambling person talking with someone else just telling them their life story and answering interview questions. That's not entertainment. So you don't see that on TV because that's not what most people would ever watch. So your concept of hey, let's do a real life version of Undercover Boss is absolutely absurd. No, I'm not saying your idea is absurd. I'm saying that the execution is. What you should have done was just emailed me saying, hey, you're being hired in at the ground level, and to go through all the steps and hide that you are our CSO. It really shouldn't have been you. It should have been our CSO. No, not the Chief Strategy Officer. I mean the Chief Services Officer. They look like everybody else. They also don't dress so nice. You really are dressed to the nines, and if you wear a suit that costs more than mine, it's apparent that you're not here for this position. Yeah. I mean, I could keep going on with this interview, but it's kind of a moot point. I could just send in the information and get you hired and do the orientation and everything. But did you actually just want me to walk you through all the steps in the orientation, see how I do it? Is that, because if you want to see how I do it, we've been filming our interviews. You can go back and watch any of the filmed interviews. Don't watch all of them, of course, because that would be weird. In fact, how about I send you the best one? I send you the best interview that I've done. No, we didn't hire the candidate. It was the best interview. It wasn't the best interviewee, but it was the best that I did in the interviewing process. That way you can really evaluate my interview skills. Is that what you were? But it would have like the best way of seeing the orient, because isn't that why we are filming these? We're filming these interviews for posterity and to view back and learn from our mistakes in the interviewing process. Otherwise, why are we filming any of these interviews? No, it's not just for the. I feel like this is a conversation with our CHRO that you should be having, not with the hiring manager. No, I didn't. Maybe I misunderstood what your goal is. Is your goal to just understand the inner workings of the company better, or is it to just trick employees and find out about their life story? Because my life story is the most exciting thing that happened to me was I got dumped by my girlfriend. But that was a while go, and anyway, I love my job here. I really do. My life is kind of in my job. Who needs work-life balance when you have a job that you enjoy so much, right? Right. So I'm not the person with a great story. If you want to talk to an employee who has a great story, who actually needs help, there is someone in the factory. No, not this building. They're actually in the factory in the other in the state that we're dealing with the lawsuit. Right. No, that's not the not that lawsuit, the other lawsuit. You'd want I'd recommend talking to our CPRO about that. Yes, the chief public relations officer. Right. Feel like you should also be talking to them and talking to our CHRO about this whole undercover boss idea in general. I don't think it's a good idea. I feel like there's a lot of better ways to get information. No, please don't try to send out an anonymous survey. Surveys don't work. Okay, there's two problems with multiple problems with an anonymous survey. One, you have to be very careful with what questions you're asking. When you're asking a question through a survey, you either make it open-ended and have them fill in the information, or you have it just strongly agree, strongly disagree. If it's a strongly agree, strongly disagree, what happens is it gets you data, it gets you information, but it does get you specifics on, well, why do they strongly agree, or why do they strongly disagree? If you ask an open-ended question, you get specifics, but you lose a lot because they're specific from one person, so you don't have as great computational data. If you're looking for employee satisfaction levels, an anonymous survey is not your best way of getting actual true data, because a lot of people, even though it's anonymous, they will be lying. Another problem about anonymous surveys is that sometimes people enter in multiple surveys because they're anonymous. And so every time you put in a survey, it essentially makes a code to keep it anonymous. Otherwise, you have your IT department who will know exactly who submitted what survey, and thus it's no longer anonymous between our IT department. I'm just saying surveys have problems. There's more layers to a survey, and what data you're hoping to get and what data you can actually execute on and improve are not the same. Yeah, you could try to have a conversation with every employee that we have. That's going to take probably 10 years. And that's assuming that we don't hire any new employees or don't lay off any of the employees that we have here. Improving not customer satisfaction, improving our employee satisfaction is an ongoing thing. And you really want to talk to our CHRO about that, because that's where a lot of their time is spent, is improving our employee retention and all of those retention matrices, and making sure that the employees we hire on love working here so much that they don't want to pursue working somewhere else. And if that's where it starts with me, that's why I ask these personality and behavioral based questions. It's not looking for can they do the job well, it's looking for are they going to be the right fit for our customer base and our employee base, our our employee culture, our company culture. We're really trying to foster that and make that as positive as possible. That's where our retention will really grow from. I don't know why I'm telling you all this. I thought you already knew this, but you're here with this undercover boss scheme but it's not for the normal reasons why you would be on the show Undercover Boss, which is usually as a PR stunt and to make sure that again, you broadcast it to the world of hey, look, this is my company and this is what we're doing well, and look at all of the cool beneficial changes that I'm going to make based on what I saw working on the ground level in the production factory, and look at this person with their sad story and how I'm going to change their life and make them feel really good because I don't have a sob story. I don't. But if you do want some sob stories, I can get those for you because I get some of the. I have access to the suggestion box. We do have a suggestion box, yes. No, I have not. No one actually looks at the suggestion box. It's mostly there as a employee satisfaction tool, because if you have a suggestion box, it makes people feel like their suggestions being seen and heard and that their voice matters, regardless if it actually gets done or not. And it prevents emails being sent directly to our CHRO or our third-party HR source. Right. Correct. I mean, do you want me to put in all the paperwork to actually hire you and have you go through the orientation process, or do you just want to see the film footage of the orientation process and the orientation video that we have? It would save you a lot of time, and it'd save me a lot of time, because then that way I'm not making a whole new employee for the database that I'm going to have to let go because you're already an employee here. Also, I need your social to make an employee account. Right, for the I-9 form. Right, yeah, that would be fraud, so I wouldn't put that in. Right, because that would be, and we wouldn't want to count any of these numbers when we send it to the government to count how many employees we have here, especially of the, that form, the form that we don't talk about. It's the one that employees, when they're hired, they have to fill out that form. It lists if they have any disabilities or what race they are. That way we can report that. It's the DFEH one, right? Okay, look, I'm talking about the form that we don't force people to fill out, but we request that they fill out because it is helpful to us. It's the voluntary self-identification form from the EEOC. Right, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. Yes, so we have them fill out that form that provides us with all of the things that we need for reporting, such as race and ethnicity, gender, disability, veteran status, all of those things. So we use that along with all of our other forms and all of our other metrics and data, such as our gender diversity, our ethnic and racial diversity, our diversity in hiring, our diversity in promotions, our diversity in the C-suite. One of the reasons why you are an excellent candidate for being our CSO. No, not that CSO, the other CSO. Though that CSO also helps us with our diversity metrics. Anyway, then we have our employee resource group participation, our ERGs. That's very helpful for our metrics, but primarily it's our diversity metrics that we need for our annual pay record, our annual pay tracking. It's the, I don't fill it out. That's a whole different department. It's the pay data reporting. Because they report on all of the pay data, and so that then all of the metrics in that pay data include race, ethnicity, and gender, and then has that on all of the different levels and classifications of position. And yes, the Civil Rights Department. it used to be the DFEH, but they changed that to the Civil Rights Department. So yes, and we have the right. So the CRD will have us submit annual pay data reports. Now include all sorts of data, including our race and ethnicity, which we've collected through that EEOC form, the Equal Employment Opportunities. So it's called the EEO1 report. Because we have so many employees. No, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. They're the ones that. No, the EEO. Yeah, it is Equal Employment Opportunity form. So we have the EEO1. Yeah, so annually we have to report that because of pay data. Right. Yes. Well, yes, I know California does that. It doesn't matter if our company is stationed in California. We do so much business there and trading, and we have a station there that has over 100 employees. So we have to do that company-wide for transparency and self-disclosure. And yes, so we have to get all of their data and diversity information. So if we have an extra employee that's not an actual employee because it's you, they're in multiple positions at the same time, at the time that we're doing the reporting, it could look fraudulent. You don't want the HR department filling out all the paperwork saying that we have hired a different person, because it changes our metrics, it changes our data, it changes a bunch of things. So no, you don't want to hire yourself again, because that would be illegal. Well, because then it seems like we've hired someone and then we're not paying them. But we can't pay you for two jobs at the same time when you're not supposed to be on. That's not how this works. What we have you is as the CSO working at a different level in department, but we don't change your position, because then it seems like we've demoted you only to promote you again. It's a paperwork nightmare is what you're talking about, and it could cause legal problems. And if it got out, well, then it's a public relations problem. So you should really be talking to our CPRO about this before doing anything like this. I'm just saying, as diversity management and employee management goes, it's if your goal is to find out problems with our operations, you'd want to talk to our COO, our Chief Operations Officer. They're the ones in charge of operations. Well, I understand that they don't know the bottom level and aren't on the floor, but in that case, you would want to then ask them specific questions, not just a survey. You don't get specific answers from a survey. You really don't. It's as useful as a suggestion box. You get specific data and information from people reporting problems, and they report problems when they can't do their work properly. And you notice the trends that work isn't being done properly when you see the supply network and supply channels and supply tunnels make those bunch up the data and supply. So you get those choke points. And when you have things in the choke point, that's when you need to smooth out the supply line and figure out what's causing and creating those choke points and inefficiencies. That's all in operations. That's not in human resources. In human resources, what you really want to work out is where the choke points are as far as hiring, retention, and firing. I'm just saying, don't look for human resources to solve an operations problem. No, that's not what I'm. Maybe take this back to the C-suite and the board, and then evaluate the benefits of an undercover boss situation that you're trying to achieve. Because right now it seems like you're trying to achieve too much broadly, and not targetedly in a specific manner, in a specific way that is helpful to the company. If anything, I would fire whoever thought of the undercover boss position as a beneficial idea. You thought this was the I'm terribly sorry. I didn't mean to be disrespectful. I'm just saying that I think taking a step back and doing a more detailed ROI risk analysis data approach with more teams and collaboration and communication between all team members associated with it would be beneficial. I'm just saying more communication, more time, and some more meetings would be helpful in this case instead of rushing into trying to implement this, because from the human resources perspective, paperwork nightmare. We don't want to hire you as a new person, especially a made-up person named Gen Z name. I'm sorry, Genevieve Z Name. We don't need that. Right. No, I would talk to our CSO. No, not you, the CSO. I mean the other CSO. No, the other CSO. No, the Chief Security Officer, CSO. Right. No, that's our SCSO. No, that's our SSCSO. No, that's the SCSCCO. Forget it. I think we should have some more company-wide meetings, possibly. Not with everyone in the company, but I mean like C-suite management teams. More meetings, more communication, more emails. I think that would be beneficial instead of trying to just have you find out what you can on the ground level. If you're looking for a way of helping the employees and helping employee satisfaction and retention, you could always look into a company GoFundMe. Essentially, it's or company loans. You can do company loans. That would really be beneficial to employees that are struggling to make do with emergencies and critical events. We have enough capital. We could do short-term company loans with our employees so that they can get through crucial, dire investment needs, because not everyone has a savings account that can deal with medical emergencies. Yes, there. If you're looking for specific people, we've got we got someone on the ground level on the production floor. One of our production agents. They not the agent productions, but the production agents. Right. One of them has that they're it's really sad. Anyway, I could email you the information. It's really sad. I don't have time to get into that right now. Right. Yeah. So I would talk to the rest of the C-suite and get more information and not do this. This is a bad idea. Don't do this. Scrap it. If you're looking for how I do better interviews, I could refer you to some of the other videoed interviews I do. In fact, if you let me please choose which ones, that would be very beneficial to me as well as our team and the interviewing process. Well, that way you're not looking at like the interview where no one showed up, because that doesn't help you. Or the interview where they did show up, but they showed up like with 2 minutes. That doesn't help you. Or the interview with the I don't know if I want to tell you about that one. Or the interview with the hyperactive person. That's a really awkward interview. It actually is kind of similar to this, because they just kept talking and interrupting me and talking really fast, and it was just hard to communicate with them. Or the interview with the person that was overqualified, and that was just a mistake on their part. They really should have applied for a higher end position. They were vastly overqualified to essentially work here at all. Right, they really didn't want to work here at all. I mean, I could keep going about other candidates I've interviewed, but that's not helpful here. I'm going to conclude the interview, and I think you should take some of that time off that you said you were going to take and regroup with the C-suite, okay? All right. Thank you, Karen. Yeah, I'll see you later. Yeah. Yeah. Bye.